Could science truly explain why Kim Taehyung's face seems flawless from every possible angle? What if the secret behind his charm isn't just beauty but mathematical perfection itself? Stay with us until the end. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you believe beauty can be proven by science. Could it be that beauty, the most subjective thing in the world, has an exact formula? Could it be that one man's face fits into that formula with such precision that even scientists can help but marvel? In a world obsessed with filters, symmetry apps, and aesthetic trends, one name seems to break through the noise with effortless perfection. Kim Taehyung, known to millions as V of BTS. But is his allure just the result of good genes? Or could it actually be that his face is the closest thing to perfect balance ever recorded? It sounds like something out of a fairy tale, yet when science entered the conversation, the answer became even more surprising. Researchers and digital analysts have long used mathematical models like the golden ratio, also known as Phi 1.618, to measure facial harmony. This formula has been used to analyze everything from the Mona Lisa to Michelangelo's David, and when experts applied the same measurements to Taehyung's face, something uncanny emerged: nearly perfect symmetry. His facial proportions align so closely to the ideal ratio that even small variations seemed almost non-existent. The first thing most people notice about Taehyung isn't just his handsome features, it's how he looks effortlessly captivating, no matter the camera angle. Fans and photographers have jokingly said, "You can take a bad photo of B," but this isn't just fan talk anymore. When facial mapping technologies were used to scan his profile, experts noted an extraordinary equilibrium between the left and right sides of his face. His eyes, perfectly spaced. His nose, elegantly centered. His jawline, gently curved in flawless proportion to his lips. These aren't just random coincidences. They are the hallmarks of a face that science itself struggles to improve. What's even more fascinating is how Taehyung's features balance masculine and feminine energies at once. His sharp jawline and defined nose convey strength, while his soft eyes and full lips express warmth and tenderness. It's this duality, the harmony of contrast, that creates what scientists call dynamic symmetry, a balance that keeps the human eye continuously intrigued. In simpler terms, our brains are wired to find such symmetry addictive. Every time we look at him, we find something new, something subtly shifting yet perfectly aligned. Imagine for a moment a face that looks equally mesmerizing from the front, the side, even in blurred motion. When cameras capture Taehyung during live performances, his expressions seem to morph with an almost cinematic fluidity. No matter how the lighting changes, his features remain proportionate, symmetrical, and magnetically balanced. Some experts argue that this balance stimulates a subconscious sense of satisfaction in viewers, a psychological response rooted deep in evolutionary biology. Our brains recognize balance as a sign of genetic health, survival strength, and visual harmony. In Taehyung's case, this biological attraction is amplified by charisma, grace, and emotional depth. But beauty without soul is fleeting, and perhaps that's what makes his allure even stronger. Beyond the flawless geometry, Taehyung radiates something that can't be measured: emotion. His stage presence, his introspective eyes, and his unique, artistic sensibility infuse that mathematical perfection with human warmth. When he smiles, it feels spontaneous. When he looks into the camera, it feels intimate. His beauty is not cold, it's alive. Isn't it astonishing how one face can make millions pause, admire, and even feel a sense of peace? Some neuroscientists suggest that when we see balanced faces like Taehyung's, our brains release dopamine, the same chemical linked to pleasure and happiness. It's not just admiration, it's chemistry. We are, quite literally, wired to feel joy when we see symmetry. Maybe that's why fans across the globe describe his visuals as comforting rather than intimidating. His beauty doesn't alienate, it welcomes. Now, let's dig deeper into the science. The human face is made up of countless micro-measurements: distances between eyes, the width of the nose, the curve of the lips, the ratio between forehead and chin, For centuries, artists and anatomists tried to decode the ideal balance. The ancient Greeks believed that beauty could be defined by numerical proportion, which gave birth to the golden ratio when applied to modern celebrity analysis. Only a few faces come close to that mathematical ideal. But Kim Taehyung's measurements? They fall almost exactly within that sacred framework. Facial experts have even remarked that his left and right profiles mirror each other so precisely that they could serve as reference points in digital symmetry models. His eyes, for example, are nearly identical in shape, with just enough asymmetry to make him look natural because total perfection would feel uncanny. This is where Taehyung's face reaches an extraordinary equilibrium. He's perfect enough to fascinate, yet human enough to feel real. It's that fine balance that keeps people watching, again and again. Still, what makes Taehyung's case so captivating isn't just the numbers, it's the emotional resonance behind them. Fans don't simply admire his features. They connect to the calmness and vulnerability those features convey. His face tells stories. When he performs songs like Singularity or Slow Dancing, his expressions capture longing, nostalgia, and tenderness in ways that transcend language. It's as if that symmetrical structure amplifies every subtle emotion he projects. A raised eyebrow, a half smile, a fleeting glance, all choreographed by nature into a dance of balance and feeling. Some might wonder, does Taehyung even know about this scientific fascination surrounding him? He has occasionally expressed amusement when fans call him CGV, a nickname implying he looks computer-generated. But perhaps the irony is that his beauty isn't artificial at all. It's the purest expression of natural design. When you look closely, you realize that what science calls ideal proportion is just another word for harmony. And harmony is something Taehyung embodies not just in his face, but in his demeanor, his art, his voice. Here's where the story takes an even more surprising twist. Scientists studying facial balance often claim that no face in the world can be truly perfect because human genetics inherently favor asymmetry. Yet, when Taehyung's photos were analyzed under digital symmetry software, the deviation rates were so small they fell within the margin of statistical perfection. In other words, his features defied the expected human norm. That finding not only startled researchers, but also reignited the question, could perfection, after all, exist naturally? And yet, behind all this scientific wonder, Taehyung himself remains humble. He often laughs when people call him the most handsome man in the world, insisting that beauty is subjective and that personality matters more. Maybe that's what makes him even more mesmerizing, the contradiction between his stunning appearance and his gentle humility. The man who could scientifically claim the title of perfect face doesn't seem to care about it at all. This humility adds another layer to the emotional connection his audience feels. Because beauty paired with arrogance repels, but beauty paired with kindness captivates eternally. Fans often describe feeling seen or understood by his gaze during concerts or interviews. His expressions carry sincerity that goes beyond structure and symmetry. They communicate empathy. Perhaps that's the truest form of beauty, one that doesn't just please the eye, but touches the heart. If you think about it, the phenomenon of Taehyung's face is more than an aesthetic marvel, it's a cultural and emotional one. In an age where digital perfection is faked, here is a man whose natural proportions meet mathematical precision without digital enhancement. It's almost poetic that in a world ruled by filters, the most photographed face of his generation needs none. The mystery deepens when you consider how Taehyung's beauty translates differently in motion than in still images. Unlike many people whose faces rely on static symmetry, his balance remains fluid, alive, adapting to movement. Scientists call this kinetic harmony, the rare ability of a face to maintain proportional balance even while expressing emotion. Scientists call this kinetic harmony, the rare ability of a face to maintain proportional balance even while expressing emotion. This means that even when he frowns, laughs, or sings, his features shift in ways that remain visually pleasing. It's not just a still frame perfection, it's living art. But here's the ultimate question: does this matter so much to us? Why are we drawn to measuring, defining, and proving beauty? Perhaps it's because beauty gives us something timeless in a fleeting world. In Taehyung's case, his scientifically balanced face becomes a mirror, reflecting our fascination with both nature's precision and humanity's longing for harmony. His existence challenges the notion that beauty is purely subjective. It suggests that, at least sometimes, beauty might actually be written in the language of mathematics. And yet, it would be unfair to reduce him to numbers alone. The science may explain the balance, but it can't explain the feeling. The emotion his face evokes, the warmth, the curiosity, the awe transcends data. Maybe that's the real secret. Taehyung isn't beautiful because he fits a ratio. He's beautiful because he makes people feel something when they look at him. Science can describe the balance, but only the heart can understand the magic. So, as we circle back to that first question, can science explain why Kim Taehyung looks flawless from every angle? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, because his facial proportions align astonishingly with the golden ratio, making him scientifically one of the most symmetrical faces on Earth. And no, because beauty is more than measurement, it's emotion, energy, and authenticity. And maybe that's the twist that science didn't see coming. In trying to quantify perfection, it stumbled upon something deeper. The truth that balance is not just found in lines and ratios, but in the harmony between what we see and what we feel. Kim Taehyung, with his mathematically flawless yet emotionally rich face, stands as living proof that the perfect balance exists not as an equation, but as a person. So, what do you think? Can beauty truly be defined by science? Or is it the soul that perfects the face? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you believe that sometimes the most breathtaking art isn't painted, it's born.